Welcome to Alisha's ball. Are you ready to be bombarded by twists and turns? Alisha reluctantly agrees, but before long, the Count plays the drama king, suddenly wrapping his arms around her waist, leaving her in shock. Up until that moment, they hadn't even exchanged simple pleasantries, and just as Alisha was lost for words, an interruption. Upon hearing that nobles were losing their valuables left and right, the Count scampered off to fix the situation, leaving Alisha to practice her skating alone. Alisha immediately recognized Mortwi and, eager to save face, Mortwi hurriedly apologized for his late-night balcony visit. Trying to avoid awkwardness, Alisha turned to leave, but Mortwi buzzed in front of her like an annoying fly, reigniting her curiosity. She looked more aristocratic than many nobles. Was she not just the fake husband she needed? Just as she was about to chat more, someone nearby complained about a lost gold. Mortwi instinctively checked his pocket, wallet intact, but realized Alisha was watching him. Recognizing the awkwardness, he turned to leave. Wait, Alisha seized the chance, saying she won't reveal the secret, but needs help at noon tomorrow. Mortwi had no choice but to agree. Meanwhile, the Count spotted Mortwi and was about to chase him down, but was cleverly stopped by Alisha, who created a successful getaway. Mortwi's team returned, popped champagne to celebrate, unaware. The numerous thefts among the nobles had caught the Count's attention. He secretly trained the speed skating team, ready to make a swift capture. The next day at noon, Mortwi showed up on time at Block 3, while Alisha switched outfits with her servant, transforming into a double agent. Arriving at a women's academy, Mortwi asked what he could assist with, learning that the eager-to-learn Alisha had already registered for the entrance interview. Facing the panel of examiners, she remained composed, creatively answering the questions. The chief examiner was immediately highly impressed and made the decision to admit her. However, other examiners raised doubts as Alisha needed a fake husband because women needed consent from a father or husband to enroll, and if admitted, she would plan her escape. She was determined not to live a life of being a dutiful wife, thinking everything was going smoothly, unaware that the straightforward Mortwi was not only bad at lying. Still an illiterate and uncivilized savage, this plan was indeed destined to be a failure. Furious, Alisha stormed out of the classroom, begrudgingly stuffing her earrings into Mortwi's hands as payment for his help today. But Mortwi hadn't helped her for the money. He wished to return the earrings, which saddened him deeply when she said that. To her, he was just a greedy thief, which gnawed at Mortwi's pride, and he chased after her carriage. He said compared to the poor like him, the wealthy were the real thieves. Alisha looked puzzled, and Mortwi countered. Who was the builder of the palaces where they resided? Alisha replied it was her grandfather's and pulled Mortwi's hand, returning the earrings to her. They fell silent as the snow swirled outside the carriage, passing under a softly glowing bridge. Finally, Alisha broke the silence, apologizing for her earlier remarks, and Mortwi graciously forgave her. He asked Alisha why she wanted to learn, which piqued her interest, and they engaged in lively conversation all the way home. As the carriage stopped, they both felt there was more to say. Before parting, Mortwi gathered his courage and made his first invitation to a girl. Alisha feigned anger as she exited the carriage, but when Mortwi caught up, she softly replied, It's not a maybe, sometimes December snow arrives right on time for Christmas. As usual, her father gifted Alisha a shiny necklace, but this year her mother gifted her a cage instead. Alisha's smile vanished briefly before it returned. Of course, she understood her mother's intentions and warnings. But how could a mere birdcage hold back a freedom-seeking canary? That night, Mortwi snuck into the castle, tapping on the upstairs window with the stealth of a ninja. Hearing the noise, Alisha stepped out of her room and her smile beamed upon seeing Mortwi. She didn't know she'd get the best Christmas gift. Ice Capid night was starting. Alisha slipped on her skates, holding his hand tightly as they glided slowly over the Never River, nearly toppling over a few times. She attempted to twirl around him elegantly, feeling as if she slid into a dreamy haven, particularly joyful. The December snowflakes still danced around St. Petersburg, but tonight's atmosphere felt especially warm and cozy. They enjoyed a juggling act, played with the cutest stray cats, and yanked at cotton candy like children. In this bright, bustling market, they felt like neither aristocrat nor peasant, just two free spirits. Suddenly, Alex's shadow flitted through the crowd, yearning for freedom, yet wanting to pull Alisha away. They were invited to a tavern where they danced gracefully, and Alex gifted Alisha a book. They debated the wealth gap addressed in the book, when suddenly, another companion made things uncomfortable for Alisha, leaving Mortwi quite embarrassed. "Please stop," Mortwi said, only for the awkward air to thicken after a brief silence. Not only that, they brawled. Mortwi grabbed her wrist, wrestling chaotically. In their carriage home, the sweet romance of the Never and the tavern conflict left Alisha profoundly moved. She wished tonight would never end, but before parting, she had to remind Mortwi, "Don't forget to hit that subscribe button."